guys, what is going on? This is Gaming Gone Weird, episode number 61 for your guys' video game news and everything and all weird gaming that me and my co-host Pete love to talk about. My name is Nicktana, the guy who critiques video games, and usually he's pretty rough on them whenever he gets the chance of doing it. I play everything from AAA, AA, single A. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just all around. Yeah, E.
Just batteries. Just batteries.
C, D, all the above. And on my right, I got my good man, the man of the hour, Pete. Pete, how you doing today, brother?
I just had some pho, so I'm pretty full. And I'm actually really excited about today's episode. I have been deep into socials on all the controversy and totally appropriate and calm collects arguments about games of the year on the internet. And I'm actually really pumped to talk about them. Talk about them and be objective, because no one in the comments, nobody knows what they're talking about. No one's objective.
Yeah. So, to kind of kick off everything, to kind of use this as an intro and kind of a stepping stone, if you guys don't know, today we are going to be talking about the Video Game Awards, because it has been announced the games that are going to be up for Game of the Year and other awards that these games got nominated for their work and their time that they put in and all that stuff. But, I think I see all the drama and all the fighting and all the back and forth about everything. And it's I feel like this is a time where I feel like people want to say they have their bragging rights, right? Because people it's just the console wars. It's around. It's a thing. Do we love it? No. Do we hate it? I wouldn't say I even hate it. I'm just kind of neutral about it, because I think it is kind of cool to kind of see the little fighting back and forth, because sometimes it is bragging rights. It's like you're sticking up for your favorite team. In a way, but sometimes it is childish, and I get that. So it's the bragging rights have really been there for one side versus another side, and I just kind of hate the that is like that. I think in general, this year is so freaking good that it's you just gotta group hug it out and just kind of roll with what is happening. You feel me?
It's art's subjective, so there you can say objectively there's better games than others. But somewhere out there, someone loves Skull Island: Rise of Kong, and they think that's the game of the year.
And then there's that.
Someone loves Gollum. Dan loves games. That TikTok account, he loves Gollum.
And there's just people that love Redfall and think that people should really give it a chance. I just want to play with somebody. I've been trying.
I'll play with you. I'll download it today.
I don't know. I've been just sitting here and I've been giving you guys hints. I'm like that girlfriend that's you forgot about my birthday. And it's I'm telling you guys that I really want people to play Redfall with, and I think you guys have been really sleeping on it. And I think it's time to wake up. The alarm's going off. It's Redfall time, baby. And I think it'd be kind of cool to get a group together. But like you said, though, to kind of get back on the serious track, gaming is gaming, and it is opinion based. And I do think that these awards, they do have the significance to them, because if there wasn't awards and they didn't have this type of standard, then games would just be kind of garbage all the time, because everybody wants to compete and everybody want to have that title to be and the honor to have Game of the Year. So at the same time, you are working towards that. So this does have a bit of significance, but your Game of the Year means you're personally. Right. So I just kind of want to kick into that. But what games have you been playing lately, other than just kind of worried about the Game Awards?
I am on the brink of beating Sea of Stars. I have no idea how much story could possibly be left where I'm at, but it just keeps going. Where are you at? Because I feel like I passed you.
This is where I don't want to start, bro, because this could start like a feud if I tell you where I'm at, because it could spoil where you're at.
I feel like I'm past you, though. The last thing you told me was
Sarai's hometown.
Yes, I'm past that.
You're past that. So you know about her other secret.
I don't know what that means, though. So maybe don't say anything. I don't know what that means.
We're not talking about it. We're done.
I feel like I'm so far ahead.
No, you don't. This is the problem. Is you're sitting here and you're I might be bad. I don't think you are.
What if I say a phrase and you know? What if I say a phrase? I don't. Okay.
What is this? A family game? What is this? This is Pictionary? What do you mean if I say a phrase? If I draw a picture?
Dude, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, see, exactly. You don't know where you're at. You don't even know. Like, that's the problem. Like,
going. It's like I'm like, dude, how much more?
That's the problem. Is like you think you're at a certain point, but it's like it just keeps on going.
There's
and
so
going
many
and
endings.
Going. Yeah,
There's so many endings. There's like these new random boss people that I don't even know. I was like, when were these people involved in the
see,
story?
bro, you don't even know. He ain't even playing the game, y'all. He ain't even playing the game. Okay,
It's
to kind of.
stressing me out.
All right. Anyways, now that we're done like listening to his lies,
Almost done with Sea of Stars. Almost done with Sea of Stars. I've been playing Blizzard's new mobile game. That's right. Blizzard's new mobile game. I think it's called Warcraft Rumble, maybe.
Okay.
Is that the game? I think that's what it is. Trying out a mobile game. It's a mobile game. It's like tower defense, whatever. But that, Sea of Stars. Oh, Resident Evil 5.
Nice.
Got 2 chapters of Resident Evil 5 left, doing co-op with Jerry's, and I think I'm going to finish Sea of Stars and Resident Evil 5 about the same time, and then basically be wide open. Try the next set.
Nice. Cool.
What about you?
So if you guys haven't known, I just finished Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I did put a review up for that on my other channel, little like self promo, whatever. If you guys want to check that out, you guys know where to go. I also am right now playing Final Fantasy VII, which is a game that I'm probably going to be deeply involved in because Nicktana decides to pick the longest games to play for his backlog when he says he has to finish it. So it's going to be a long time before I play anything else because that is a 40-hour game. And I plan to invest over the holidays and just sit there and stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning with nothing but Red Bull, pizza, and grind. So, and I am the biggest Tifa fan right now. So, Tifa's pretty big.
Is that TIFFA?
TIFA? 1F. Got it.
Just looking it up for research.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I want to give a big shout out to everybody here, man. Like I said, if you guys like Gaming Gone Weird, we go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern to give you guys your guys' gaming news and all the weird games that we are playing. Big shout out to all of our members. Shout out to everybody in here. Cooldown, Jerry's, Tim, Compadre, Vino. I appreciate everybody in here. And everybody that's watching this video after the fact, if you guys like this video and you guys want to help support, the best way of doing that is liking, subscribing, commenting, and being involved in the community because we're trying to build something great over here. Like I said, we've been doing 61 straight episodes, so it's the grind has been real. So yeah, if you guys want to support, you guys could do that. Other than that, I am gonna get into the games that are coming out this week. We do have a question of the day, but that is coming out a little bit later. Are you ready to hear our games of the week, Pete?
Hit me.
The games that are coming out this week, if you guys don't know, you should know. Hogwarts Legacy is coming out for the Switch. That came out November 14th. A game called Howl is coming out for the Switch and PC. Teardown is coming out for the PS5, Xbox X and S. The Last Faith is coming out for PS5, Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. That comes out November 15th. A game called Flashback 2. Never heard of Flashback 1. So there's not really a flashback moment with this one. PS5, Xbox X and S, that is coming out November 16th, so tomorrow. Persona 5 Tactica, a game that a lot of Persona fans are really looking forward to. It's a different style for the Persona games, but I know people that are really interested in this, and the people that are really interested in it are kind of going hardcore for it. That comes out November 17th, so Friday. This comes out for the PS5, Xbox X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. And last but not least, we have Super Mario RPG rounding it off at the end of the week for Friday, and that comes out for the Switch. Got an 8.75, and on Metacritic, it's rating an 84. Have you been excited for...
Yeah, Super Mario RPG is going to be a nostalgia pickup for me. I played the first one when I was a kid, so I am going to be buying that one for sure. I'm kind of on like Sea of Stars has me so pumped up for RPGs right now,
bro,
so I'm going to get that one.
You don't have to lie to us, bro. Like if you're not playing Sea of Stars, like if you
I think I'm farther than you. I'm pretty sure
you're not.
There's no way that I'm not farther than you right now.
I'd have to look up the chapters and see because I don't think you are. But like, I don't want you spoiling it for me either.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we'll just call it a tie then.
Yeah, okay.
Super Mario RPG. I'm gonna be looking for. Oh, look, another Assassin's Creed. Absolutely. Hogwarts Legacy for the Switch. I'm not sure what that's.
I already played it for PC, so I'm not gonna get it for the Switch.
Shades of Mortal Kombat. You know what I'm
To
saying?
be honest, I watched gameplay of it. It doesn't look terrible. Like I think
Really?
I'm just like limiting my expectations now for these Switch games because they're gonna look the same every single time. As long as it doesn't like crash, I'm cool, I guess. But I'm only gonna get games for the,
the
Switch.
new standard, dude.
Okay, so if I'm gonna get a game for the Switch, listen. All right, listen. This is a Nick tip, okay? You guys don't get a lot of these on Gaming Gone Weird, but I'm gonna throw you one right now, okay? This is how you decide how you get your games, right? So I have all the consoles. Weird flex, I know. If you can and you're stable to get all the consoles, listen. All right, so I collect. If it's exclusive, I'll end up buying it 99% of the time. So if it's for the Switch, obviously I'll get it for the Switch. The games I get for the Switch are like the Switch exclusives and a game that I know that I'm going to enjoy, that's going to look good, and that I can replay, and that sounds good on the go. When it comes to my PlayStation 5, that's mainly exclusives or like something that I'm going to push to the limits and I want like to add to my collection for. PC, strictly shooters on the PC. Just because, you know, like frames and stuff like that. And Xbox, that's just for the Xbox exclusives because Game Pass. And if it's on Game Pass, then it's on the Xbox. Boom.
What was the...
Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into our main topic, which we are going to be talking about the Game Awards. If you guys don't know, the Game Awards have announced the nominees to a bunch of awards that it is going to be listing. The show does go live December 7th, and it has a bunch of different awards from like best game this year, family games, indie games, fighting games.
23 categories.
23.
And I feel like that seems like a number that's going to go up every year somehow.
Mm-hmm. I feel like they could always throw in like a different category or a new category based on like what comes out that year or what is like important. To kind of kick off, like before we kind of get into the actual games and stuff like that, I think we always talk about this every year. They come into like best streamer or best content creator, and I don't think that like really has like a research or like who votes for that, because when I think of like a best streamer for the Game Awards, I'm thinking of someone who's gonna play every single game and like review every single game and talk, you know what I'm saying? Especially for the Game Awards.
Yeah, I feel like there could be a streamer awards. I think there is one, is there not?
There is
like
a streamer
content
awards. That's why I thought it was weird that they had like.
I don't know why it's involved here.
Right.
I guess it's like the same if you talk about movies or shows. I think there's some overlap for best movie. I don't know if the Oscars is the only thing that has like best picture. So maybe something like that. Like you could be the best actor for I don't even know if this is right, but like the Golden Globes or the Emmy or an Oscar. Like you could be the best. It's different award shows. I don't know, man. I think the streaming thing is just different. I don't even, is it synonymous with gaming or like games? Not so much anymore. Maybe like just chatting still the most. I don't know. I don't like the overlap so much.
Me neither. Just wanted to get that off my chest. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw up a bunch of stuff on the screen, and we're all gonna talk about what we think from games that we played this year and why they should win that award. And like me and Peter probably gonna go back and forth because he's probably gonna think something. I'm probably gonna say something. You guys are gonna think something. So we're all just gonna talk about it. I know I said I wanted to plan for this show for a long time. Because I kind of want to get you guys involved with the voting and see what you guys think and give us your guys' feedback. So to kind of kick everything off, we're going to start off with the best family game. We have Disney Illusion Island, which is a platformer game. We have Party Animals, which is kind of like that one game. I forgot what it was called. Oh, I'm drawing a blank.
Not Fall Guys.
It's not Fall Guys. I know. That's why I'm thinking, I'm just drawing a blank right now. Oh my god, I'm gonna feel so stupid. What is
Gang
it?
Beasts.
Gang Beasts is what it is. Gang Beasts, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off. What I think is the best family game is, and when I kind of think of family game, I think of like a game that you're gonna sit down and play with like everybody in the living room. I'm gonna say Super Mario Bros. Wonder, just because I feel like it's for all ages. You can play it as an adult, you can play it as a kid. Everybody will kind of understand what's going on. I feel like everybody can play the difficulty for each game. It looks very good, and it's like I just feel like you can get the whole family involved with that. Now, secondly, I think Party Animals could be a winner just for the fact that like you could play against everybody, and everybody could like fight it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't think Pikmin is that great of a family game. But
Mm-hmm.
Pikmin's kind of hard, and there's a lot of strategy in it. I know it's Pikmin, but there is. I wouldn't have even pegged Pikmin to be a part of that category, just based on what I've seen footage wise, and because the namesake Mario, I would guess would win that
Yeah.
competition. The other one is more of a party game. I mean, I don't see family for was it Party Animals? I
Yeah.
don't see like the family aspect of it, and I think Mario kind of like Mario's gonna win. That'd be my guess.
I think Mario would too. I think that's kind of a shoe in for like a family type game, which, like I said, like I think all ages could play it. Like I bet I could give Will the game and he could probably beat a level. I mean, I really didn't have that much trouble with it, and I mean, I've got to be like top 5 dumbest people alive, and I was able to beat it. So,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
yeah, I feel like it's great for everybody. You can sit down like in the living room. You kind of take like a night, pop some popcorn, order some pizza, and go ahead and play together. I'm kind of bringing this up because it's kind of like an off topic, but me and Morgs, when Super Mario Odyssey came out, it was one of my favorite gaming nights, like together as a relationship thing, because we ordered Super Mario, or we went to GameStop and we didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think I was gonna spend as much money as I did at GameStop, so we went to GameStop and we were like, all right, I want Super Mario Odyssey. We get Super Mario Odyssey. We ended up getting the 2 amiibos because it was like Peach and Mario. Like Peach was getting married in the game, and she was wearing like her wedding dress, and then Mario was wearing his tuxedo. So we ended up getting those amiibos, and then we got a pair of Joy-Con, lime green Joy-Cons. And we ordered pizza, and then we just played Super Mario Odyssey together. And because if you play 2-player, you get to the second player gets to control the hat, so they get to do all the combat, and then you get to do all the platforming. Yeah, so like I think like I have a nostalgia thing when it comes to Mario, because like I can see like how you can get everybody involved. Plus, Mario Wonders is multiplayer, if you didn't know, so you guys can play up to 4 people.
Can't you play online too?
Because you can't play online.
Okay.
I didn't play online because I really didn't care that much, but it is an online game if you really wanted it to.
Yeah, I didn't touch Sonic Superstars, but just looking at the lineup, it's gonna be Mario. Just as.
Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Go ahead and kick it up into the next one because we do have a lot of topics here. Best adaptation. This is basically the best show to a video game that's coming out. I know Jerry's is a big Last of Us fan, so she's not allowed to vote. But we do have Castlevania, we have Gran Turismo, The Last of Us, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and Twisted Metal. Pete, I'll let you go ahead and kick this one off since I took the other one.
As a Twisted Metal fan, I can tell you right now, I'm not going to vote for Twisted Metal.
Which sucks. That sucks so bad because, like, I hate, like, I'm going to say it. It's like, it's almost like they're killing your childhood, you know? Like,
it's not
as good as what it should be, right? You know what I'm saying? Because
It should
Twisted
have been-
Metal
right.
it's a nostalgia thing.
Right. And it should have been way darker. It's like they should have gone way more with the theme of like Twisted Metal Black. And I don't know if it was casting or writing or what it is, but it's just not it. I think this is going to be between The Last of Us and Super Mario movie. But I think Last of Us probably. Like, did you watch that show?
Last of Us?
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched Last of Us yet. I've been wanting to make time for it, but like,
it's good, man.
If
it's
anybody
really
wants
good.
to loan me their HBO account, let me know. I'm not paying for that, but
no, man, it's really good. I didn't see Castlevania, Gran Turismo. I'm just not interested in. But The Last of Us, I mean, dude, it was good. It was really good. But so was Mario Brothers movie. Did you see that?
I think I'm gonna lean more towards the Mario movie. I think it's probably more of a potential winner just because it like had record-breaking numbers with sales, and I feel like it kind of fits all age categories again. And I think that's kind of what I'm leaning towards for a lot of these categories. Can everybody play it? Like, I don't think like you see like a younger kid watching The Last of Us and understand.
No, it's not. It's really dark. It's way more adult.
Right. And I've heard really good things about the show. Like usually like even like we talked about this before on the show, like the Master Chief show. And it's like it's good and it's okay, but like people are very verbal about like what is wrong with that show versus like The Last of Us. Everybody's like, no, I'm cool. I don't got no problems with it. But when it came to like Master Chief, everybody was nitpicking about everything, dude. about his underwear, about his face, like
Dude, was it you telling me?
about his muscle size. Like I'm like, man, let my
like,
man be. The actors probably reading reviews like, man,
yeah,
this is ridiculous, dude. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it was already renewed for a second season. So again, they put it on HBO. That's the difference.
Right.
Twisted Metal was on Paramount. You can't do what you can do on HBO that you can't do on Paramount what you can do on HBO.
I think Master Chief or the Halo one was on Paramount too.
0 for 2, dude. Like, what? Stop making stuff. Like, stop. There's a team. I swear, dude. There's a team over there that just is pitching video game adaptations, it's not it. It's not.
So
it.
I'm wondering why Sonic wasn't on here, unless that was a 2022 movie.
I don't know. Why wasn't Ninja Turtles on here? Didn't that come out this year?
Yeah.
That was pretty good, though, right?
Very good.
Or why wasn't Spider-Man on here too?
Maybe it has to reach some sort of requirements. I'm trying to think, but there's probably like something in the guidelines why they wouldn't.
Okay.
Because those movies were way better than Gran Turismo. And Tim, if you want to leave feedback about Gran Turismo, I'm kind of curious.
Twisted Metal.
Yeah. Anything about that? Moving on to the next topic, we are going to talk about best RPG. Now, this could get a little spicy because all of these games I have played, so a lot of these are going to be kind of iffy on what I pick. We have Baldur's Gate 3 by Larian Studios, Final Fantasy 16 by Square Enix, Lies of P, Sea of Stars, and Starfield. And I think this is going to be, I think Game of the Year is more of a runaway than best RPG. I feel like any one of these games should be up for like, I think any one of these best RPG games could be up for Game of the Year. And I think this, like the best RPG, all these games are so close together that it could be any single one of them. I think if you picked any one of them, I'd be happy with whatever. I was a firm believer that Starfield was bad. And I kind of like thought about it and I played it for a little bit. And I think the way I played the game made me think the game was bad. So like I kind of like Starfield for like a little bit. Lies of P was one of my favorite games when I played it, and I thought it was very fun. I thought it had more like that Bloodborne aesthetic that was really cool. Sea of Stars, dude, come on, me and my homie, we on that. Hey, we stay repping Sea of Stars, man. We been talking about it, y'all. Come on, man. If you guys aren't with it or you guys don't believe us, man, get on the Sea of Stars, bro. We're not leading you the wrong way. We are giving you guys heat, man. Sea of Stars.
Sea of Stars. You should buy it today.
You should be playing it. That's what we're saying.
You should be playing it.
Final Fantasy 16 is out, and then you also have Baldur's Gate, which I think is going to win game of the year. I'll just go out.
I'd rather have, like you said, I think you made a great point. I think best RPG is going to be a much tighter race than Game of the Year.
Yes.
I think this list looks more like Game of the Year list than the actual Game of the Year list.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Dude, okay, so I haven't played Final Fantasy or Lies of P, but I played the rest. Baldur's Gate goes without saying at this point. Sea of Stars, as you know, I'm really much further ahead than you in it, so I probably know a lot more. We can talk about it better. Starfield, I played for maybe 5 hours. I wasn't like sucked in, but it was good. Like you know what I mean? Like it was.
You know what? I did remember you playing Starfield for a little bit and then you quit, bro. We're gonna have a conversation about that.
I was like Baldur's Gate. I was going way further into Baldur's Gate and Sea of Stars. Like it just, I don't know. They hooked me a lot faster than Starfield. But to be fair, I've never been about the space aesthetic. I've never been.
Same, bro.
I've never been about space.
Space is so whack, bro.
Dude, it's not the best.
Space is
it's
so
the worst,
lame, bro. My god. I'm glad someone said it, bro. Oh my god. Space is so booty, bro. I cannot. They have all these made up planets, bro. Like, oh, on this planet there's water, bro. Like my planet has water,
right.
And KFC, bro. Like you ain't got nothing out, bro. Space is whack, bro. I do not like. Oh, we got aliens up here, bro.
But I'm so happy you said that, man.
Because I thought, bro,
I was
space
like,
is
I'm not
so
sold
mid.
on the space.
I've never liked space games, dude. They're so bad.
Space is mid.
Nicktana. Space is so terrible, bro. That's how I thought too. Like, Just like the astronaut
I
aesthetic.
don't care, dude. I don't care
You're
about
wearing
space.
these big, bulky astronaut suit, and you're like worried about your oxygen levels. Like,
I don't
bro,
like the half grab. I don't like jumping slightly higher than normal. I don't know.
these Star Wars laser fight scenes. Like, oh my gosh, man.
I don't like I'd rather be in Skyrim. I'd rather be fighting bears and
dude, yeah,
taking over villages. You know what I mean? Yeah,
dude. Slaying a dragon is way more badass than slaying a
We need a top 10 in-game in-game. You know what I'm saying? Like slaying a dragon's number 1. Exploring space is number 10, obviously, because who cares?
Right.
And then everything in between. Yeah. No, you're
I'm
right.
not
Sorry,
worried
I'm
about
interrupting you, but slaying a dragon
fine.
is sick.
I'm
so
interrupting
happy
you,
you said
bro.
that.
I'm not worried about no peanut head alien that we gotta fight on Mars, bro. Like, I'd rather be fighting like dragons and like lizard mans, like lizard men. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
To kind of go based off this list though, it's tough. I can't. I'm not picking one. I'm not picking one just because like I could vote for all 5, and I think it's unfair. Like if I pick a favorite right here.
Oh man, just based on what I've played. And I haven't played Liza P or Final Fantasy. I'm probably not going to play Final Fantasy. I've seen it, though. Baldur's Gate was so good. But Sea of Stars was also really good for completely different reasons. So, that game, to me, is made for a mobile device. Like, playing not on a big TV for Sea of Stars just felt so right.
And if we want to... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, what I like... Well, I think Baldur's Gate should win a lot because whatever you can think, what if we try it this way? They have included all of those options in the game. So there isn't anything that you can't do. Like if you want to go kill a main character as part of a main storyline, it doesn't prevent you from doing that. Like you can go and you do that and then it'll just ruin that storyline. You're just done now. And you can't go back. So whatever you think you can do, you can dip your weapons into the world around you to have effects. So you're like, oh, I want to make this sword wet, so it's and then I want to dip it in oil that I found and light it on fire with a scroll that I found over here, but it's at night, so the moon affects it somehow. You can do whatever it is, whatever you can think about doing inside the game, you can do it. But they also built it so the imagination, there is no limit on what you can do in the game, which makes it awesome.
I just think all these games shine in a particular way that I could go on for a very long time. So the reason I like Baldur's Gate 3 is kind of like how you said, no matter what the game has in front of you, there's a million ways to attack it. You could go around this way. You could attack this guy in the back that might trigger a trap that might affect the whole playing field. You might have a guitar player that boosts your attack while this guy turns into a wolf. There's a million things that you can do in the game that I feel like that makes it very great. I feel like Final Fantasy does the best story out of all of those ones. So it has a great story. It has a good side quest that you could do, and you kind of stick with, and you're very interested in the way that the main character is. Now, Sea of Stars, I really like the combat that it has, that you have to interact with it, and then I also really like the level up system. I think it has one of the better level up systems because you get all your stats leveled up, but you could level up a certain stat to where it's if I level up my attack with this character, I'm going to make him an all-out attacker, but I might make Valir my special attacker, and I might make Garl my straight-up tank, and he's just going to sit there and heal all the time. And you could kind of plan around that and have the choice of how you want to build each character. Starfield, we already talked about. I think Bethesda makes really good skill trees when it comes to persuasion, whatever guns you want to use.
Always entertaining to read.
And you could make the character that you want. It might not have the opportunities and the things you can do like a Baldur's Gate, but I think that Starfield, it's still if you have an idea for a character, you can't make a bad character in that game. You just can't. Whatever you vision your character to be, you can do it. And I think Liza P. I mean, it's one of the best Soulsborne games that I played in a really long time. A lot of games try to replicate it, so I mean, you got to respect that people that if FromSoft is very good because it has its own pedigree and it has its own way of making a great game. So when people try to mimic it and it can't, and it's not been successful for a very long time, and Liza P happens to find a way to replicate that Bloodborne feeling, I think you got to give its flowers to that. So I honestly could just vote for any one of these. That's why I'm not picking one.
For Liza P, I mean, what made it so good? Because, like you said, it's similar to the Soulsborne games. I guess what makes it competitive with those titles?
What?
For Liza P, what makes it competitive to like an Elden Ring or a Dark Souls or a Bloodborne? Like, they're not necessarily better than, but like, what makes it? If I'm a huge fan of those games and that's my, barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Why am I playing Liza P? Why is it good compared?
I think they just did a really good job with like the world around it and like the aesthetic to it. The combat feels very smooth. The parry didn't work a lot of the time, but I think when you have a very interesting character and you have these really like obscured, like crazy bosses that also take a little bit of challenge too, but they do feel good when you beat them. I think that's like one of the recipes to it. Like, I love being able to fight a bunch of like bosses and enemies in the game. Like, beating a boss in that game is like a high that I can't explain. But that's what makes the FromSoft, like Elden Ring, Bloodborne, like seeing a new boss, getting the backstory, and just like when you beat that boss, you're just like, you feel like you're on top of the world because it's such a challenge to actually beat that boss. And you always have to like remember attack patterns because you might hit this thing like 50 times. So you're gonna have to like be able to attack. You're gonna have to attack it a lot of times. I think they did a really good job with the weapon durability. They found a way to make it better than in Bloodborne because you could just sharpen your weapon mid battle. You could just like sharpen it off your arm, and that's really cool. Like in Bloodborne, I know you had to go back and like restore your weapon unless there was an item for it. I don't know. I never finished Bloodborne, but that was the one things I liked about it. And then I just feel like it had a lot of different options for it. And one of the things I did like was cosmetics was just strictly cosmetics, and they didn't affect stats or anything. So you can make your character like anything you want. So if you beat like a invader, I guess they would call it in that game, or how they would call it in Elden Ring. I don't know what they call it in Liza P. You could like just straight up wear their drip and have like,
that's cool.
Look cool, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah, that's the only reason I like Liza P a little bit. Just a little bit. Stat.
No, I'm happy to see it, man. Like, I'm happy to see, and it's not the same. Like, it looks so much different. It kind of reminded me when I saw some of the enemies. I was like, this kind of reminds me of Ravenlock a little bit. Like
Ravenlock kind of Ravenlock feels like it was a game for like FromSoft game for like babies. Because it was very easy, but like you kind of see how it kind of had that effect where you had the bosses and you had the dodge mechanic and the roll mechanic and you upgraded your you know what I'm saying?
Have huge health bars. Yeah, it was cool. I actually watched a lot of streams on Liza P because I knew it's just not like a game that I typically gravitate to, but I don't mind watching it. And it just, the aesthetics look cool. It's a very, very cool cool setting. I don't know. I dug it.
Can I interrupt the show to show my show everybody my son's Ninja Turtle hat? Come here. Show everybody. Oh, get in here.
Big whoop.
Ain't that funny? Yeah. Bo made that. Oh my. That's awesome. I want one now.
That was hilarious.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No,
I was gonna say getting into. You good? You want to continue? We can get.
I'm good. I'm good. Send it. Anyway, that's a good one. That's a good.
Mama will crochet you a Raphael.
Okay, buddy. Thank you. Kids. All right, getting into the next topic, we have debut indie game. This goes for Cocoon, Dredge, Pizza Tower, Venba, and Viewfinder. I think I'm just gonna pick Cocoon on this one because I haven't played the other ones, but you can go ahead and say what you got to say.
I played Dredge and Cocoon. I thought Dredge was fantastic. They have a DLC coming out tomorrow, actually. Excuse me. So I'd vote Dredge. That doesn't mean Cocoon wasn't great, but puzzle games are not my jam, typically.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, Cocoon was good, and I beat it, and it was playable, and I think me and you both enjoyed it, and I think it's, like, a game that you should play. Puzzles aren't really my thing, though.
For what it is,
it more irritated me than anything. I think it really did irritate me now that I'm thinking about it.
I mean, it's a beautiful game. I think I like a story a little bit more, and there wasn't a story really, but it was very visually stimulating and it looked great. I mean, it looked beautiful, but I like a story, and Dredge had that story. I've not tried Pizza Tower, Venba, or Viewfinder.
The
Though
only
Viewfinder's
reason-
on a couple of these lists, so I might have to look that up.
Yeah, I know you did tell me to check out Viewfinder. I think I'm gonna play Dredge, but I really think I'm gonna get it for the Switch. I think that's my best bet.
I bet it plays beautifully on the Switch. I bet it's nice.
I think that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I think that's gonna be like my travel. Like I'll get that and then the DLC.
I mean, it's a fishing game, so it's a horror fishing game.
So, Cooldown actually asked, and I'm gonna leave this up to Peter because he said, "Where's Dave the Diver?" So, if you want to explain the situation with Dave the Diver when it comes to the indie games, you can.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a reason why Dave the Diver technically isn't on the list for debut indie, and I'm gonna let Pete go ahead and explain it.
So it's up for not debut indie game, but it's called independent game, and that's the category. Let me actually pull up the nominees for that.
I got it. I'll
as
do it right
well.
now because we'll talk about it. We got Best Independent Game, which we do have Dave the Diver, Cocoon, Dredge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder. So that's the thing is like the debut indie has pretty much, it has 3 of the same games from indie to independent. So like there's a difference between them, and we looked it up, and it's like a weird thing. Like it's
So the definition between the independent and indie. So an indie game, I think we can basically, if you look at a game, you know that it's an indie game. So anything by Bethesda is not an indie game. Anything by Activision Blizzard is not an indie game. But we could look at Dave the Diver. We're like, oh, that's an indie game. Dredge, that's an indie game. Viewfinder, all these titles. The problem with Dave the Diver is that Mint Rocket, the publisher, I think it's developer and publisher, maybe both. It's actually owned by. Did you say it was the it was the largest gaming company in Korea?
yeah.
So they actually had a ton of funding. So for an independent game, it's supposed to be a smaller team, a lot less funds. Like think like a startup, basically, like a startup business, but a startup studio. The problem with Dave the Diver is it actually had a ton of funding. So it had a huge bank and a big team, which is probably why it was so good. So, shame on me for not doing the research on Mint Rocket.
But like that's my bad though too, because like I kind of think indie because you think Mint Rocket, you never heard of Mint Rocket, but Mint Rocket, think of it as like Mint Rocket is like the kid of like the parent being like the biggest studio in Korea, and like that's their little studio. And that's the one who made Dave the Diver. So they definitely gave them money for it. I guess you can kind of say like Bethesda has like their own little arcane or some shit. It's got to be something like that. You know what I'm saying? Where like they have like there's like a bigger studio. Like if Bungie had like something below, like Bungie had a studio within it.
Yeah.
Basically.
So it's like think like big food groups. Big like restaurant management companies that own a bunch of little brands.
Yeah.
So like Arby's doesn't own Arby's necessarily. It's probably some restaurant group, or Taco Bell's owned by something else. So people are pushing back like, hey, Cocoon, Dredge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder all came from a more traditionally defined independent studio, whereas Dave the Diver is like it's really good for a reason. Not that the other games aren't good, but like Dave the Diver is an exceptional game, as is Sea of Stars. Mm-hmm. So, just from the controversy, they might lean Sea of Stars, but doesn't make it not a great game. That people just don't think it necessarily belongs in the best independent category.
Yeah. I just think it sucks because it is going up against Sea of Stars, and I'm picking Sea of Stars 99% of the time.
I know, dude, it's hard because I really loved Dave the Diver as well.
Yeah.
But Sea of Stars is really, really good. And I actually will probably get Dave the Diver for the Switch because I'm a chapter away from the PC, but it just feels like a mobile game. I'd rather play it on the go. Yeah,
it's a Switch game for sure.
But both are amazing. I think Dave the Diver, Dredge, Sea of Stars are in my top 10 favorite games this year, hands down. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I think going based off that list, like Dave the Diver is probably definitely top 10 for me. Cocoon, I think it's outside the top 10, but I mean, it's pretty close. If it's probably 11. Sea of Stars is a top 5 game for me, probably, if top 3, if we're being. generous. You know?
Across all platforms. Yeah. Or categories for me too. It's amazing. It's incredible. I can't say enough good things.
Getting into the next topic, we're going to talk about the best narrative. We have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, Final Fantasy 16, and Marvel's Spider-Man 2. I'm going to go ahead and kick this one off. Honestly, I'm going to be there's a lot of options here. I don't think Baldur's Gate, I really didn't care so much about the story. I think Baldur's Gate, you could make your own story. That's why I don't want to pick narrative for that one.
It's actually a good point. It's actually a really good point.
So with this, I'm going to go, I think I really want to go Final Fantasy 16 on this one because I think it really goes in depth and more than Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man had a really good story, but Final Fantasy really like irons out those details, and it really gets into like what the game is actually about and deeper into like these characters' lives and more of like it had side stories than anything. Spider-Man was kind of like straight to the point. They did have like side missions and a little more background, but like not to the point of like a Final Fantasy. And that's why I kind of rule Final Fantasy 16 to be supreme. I think Final Fantasy, what they did with that game is they had elite storytelling. And that was one of the main focal points they wanted to hit, like really good graphics, and they want to focus on that main story, which Final Fantasy games are like king for. So I'm definitely going to go with that. Spider-Man 2 is really good, though, and I'm not going to sleep on Alan Wake 2. I just haven't played it. So,
dude, I haven't played it either. I don't even. I'm like, I know it's probably good. It's given me. I don't even want to say something stupid. I know I need to check it out.
Just say it, bro.
And it came out like what a week before these went up, 2 weeks before this went up. So I'm sure there's some recency bias there as well. But it's nominated Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake came out a week after Spider-Man, so like it was like the end of October.
Yeah.
So I think everything, yeah. I mean, it's close, but like I had this debate with God of War. God of War came out for the Game Awards. I think that was last year. Yeah, I think it was last year or 2 years ago. No, it was last year. I think it was last year. So God of War Ragnarok came out. And the problem with God of War Ragnarok is it came out like 3 days before the Game Awards. Like you had to be like to be considered Game of the Year. I think it's like November or it's like sometime before that. And it came out, and then 3 days later, it was like, it's Game of the Year. And I'm like, you don't have enough time to beat God of War to say it's Game of the Year. That's you
don't have enough time to beat it and then do a review.
Right. And that's where I was like, are we just doing that? And that's what really gave me like a biasy thing for God of War. But at the same time, God of War, it was still a really good game. So like, I just felt dumb.
And that brings up a point too. I don't know how. I know that they say there's a jury and people vote on which games to be included, but you really don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I know award shows and award stuff is also part of marketing budgets. So I've got this like tinfoil hat of like, did anyone pay for their entries? Like, do you contribute as like, do you have to purchase the option to be nominated? Is that something that you have to buy? I don't know.
No, because you would think that, but if that was the case, then Phil Spencer would just buy every slot. Starfield
he's also on the board of He's like on the advisors board. So
is he really?
Yeah, he's on the page.
You think he couldn't press for his own games? He's like, hey, maybe Starfield.
Hey, throw Starfield in there, guys. It's just a big round table. He's like, I don't know, Starfield looks pretty good. Who said
you're telling
that?
Me you're not going to put. You're telling me you're not putting Redfall in best narrative. Are you serious? Are you kidding
family
me?
Game Redfall. Let's go.
Come on, guys. Let's reconsider our votes.
That's exactly what Phil Spencer sounds like, by the way.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know what Phil Spencer's like, I literally...
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys. Redfall, am I right?
I think it's a cool category, though. I'm glad they include this stuff because, like music and the actual script writing and the acting, I think just goes unseen sometimes. And it's nice of them for them to highlight it.
Right. Get you.
So I don't know. I don't know my vote is for that. I wish I'd played all of them, but I just haven't.
Got to catch up a little, bro. A lot of games out there.
A lot of games.
Before we get into our final topic of talking about the game of the year and what we think is game of the year, if you guys, I want to remind you guys one more time that if you guys don't want to miss another Gaming Gone Weird episode, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button because we do go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we talk about everything and all gaming news and the weird games that we play, and all your support means the world to us. If you are watching this right now, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, share with a friend, tell people about us to get their gaming news, because word of mouth is one of the best ways to help promote the show. Besides the free way of liking, subbing, all that stuff is free to do. Why not get it done if you enjoy? So to kick it off with like the main and final topic of the day, these are the nominees for the games that are going up for Game of the Year. I'm going to go ahead and have Pete go ahead and announce it for us, and we will give you our feedback of what we think should win.
So, games of the year nominees this year include Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Mm-hmm. I have something interesting to say about this.
All right, go ahead.
Well,
you start off.
So, I guess it might not be interesting to you, but something I think is interesting.
Probably not.
All of these are sequels or remakes.
Oh, I did not even notice that. Alan Wake 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. That's a stretch.
It's technically a sequel to Super Mario World. It's part of that universe.
That is so crazy.
Not a single standalone.
Wow. I think that's got to be the first time in a very long time that's been
I'd like to see the previous list. I'm sure they're on Wikipedia somewhere.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up. I'm kind of curious. But that is kind of the thing, too. But I think that also goes without saying that nowadays these teams do make a lot of games that if you do want to play the remake or not remake, I'm sorry, I saw Resident Evil 4 and I instantly got fired up about remakes again. But if you do want to play a sequel to a game, they're very generous of like just throwing in a recap and saying like, hey, you could play this game without playing the previous ones. And I think that's really showing because like you said, like they're all sequels, and if you haven't played up to the other ones, then why would you try a new one? Like you would think that the numbers would go down because like let's say if God of War 1 probably didn't do as good as God of War 3, like number wise.
Yeah, probably not.
And it's probably because it's a better game. It's a better game. It's a better
yeah.
sequel. Same thing with like maybe Ragnarok probably outsold the original God of War just because the sequel was very good. But that's the thing is like you don't have to play these other games, like the older games, to the sequel to have to play the new ones, which is cool. And I think that does help with like people wanting to play them. So that's cool. I kind of want to kick it off because Resident Evil 4 is on this list, and I don't know how you feel about this game being up here. I kind of like went back and forth, and I kind of was thinking about it, and I think that it did a good enough job to like rechange the story, kind of like updated the graphics and make little changes here and there to not say it's just a straight up remake. I think they did improve on the previous game before than just graphics, but I just don't think it should be up here if the game released however many years ago and you put it up for the game of the year this year because you update graphics and the story. Like you already had
the blueprint. You
right,
did significantly less work.
Right. That's the thing. Is it's been established what the game is. You just kind of like the blueprint was there. You just updated on what you think could make it better. Golem did get robbed. I
didn't see Golem on a single list here.
Why? I don't know why. I must have been like
they should have there are awards in other award shows for like biggest flub of the year. And I don't know how much they like want to publicly shame certain studios and stuff, but I think it'd really round everything out if you put worst game of the year in here. I think we should start putting some people
motivate
on
you not to make the worst game
That's
possible.
what I'm saying. What if we put just right on the tail end of the show, last 2 or 3 minutes, just slip that in there.
Redfall, Golem, and Rise of Kong all sitting there like, please don't pick me. Please don't say my name. Please don't say
literally tied.
It's a tie! You all stink!
They
all gotta hold the trophy together.
Yeah.
It's like a toilet. Like, yeah!
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. But no, it's a good point. No, I don't think remakes should be nominated for Game of the Year. I really strongly oppose that. It's not. I don't get it. I don't get why it's in there. You already know it works. It's already popular. So when people look at it, like, oh yeah, it's like we love. There's so much nostalgia is going into that selection. Whether
That
they
is a
say they're
nostalgia
unbiased
pick.
or not, they're like, man, I love Resident Evil, and I love it even more now that they made it better. I think it should just be original games. I think we should swap games out with that, honestly.
Yeah.
For the rest of the list, what do you think?
I think another game that should get swapped out is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This is like a hot take by me, is just because I just don't think the game, for the little bit of time that you play for it, like it is an 8-hour game, and I don't think it like solidifies itself to like compete against the other team or the other games that are nominated for Game of the Year. I think to have like the Game of the Year, you gotta have everything. You gotta have a great soundtrack. You gotta have a great story. You gotta have great graphics. You gotta have a good blueprint. You gotta have like replayability. And I just don't think Super Mario Wonder hits all those at like an elite level. So I think the game is good for like the first run through. And then it's like, am I gonna pick this game up and replay all the levels? Probably not. Am I really excited to play this game online? Probably not. Do I play this game because I want an in-depth story about why Bowser kidnapped Peach for the 20th millionth time? Probably not. Do I care why Bowser's trying to steal all this stuff? No, I really don't freaking care. The reason I am playing this game is to explore all the worlds, see the different stages and levels, have a little bit of a challenge here and there. It's just fun. And I don't think that's anything wrong. And that's not me saying the game is bad. I'm just saying it doesn't compete with, like, I feel like you could replace that with Sea of Stars. I feel like you could replace that with Final Fantasy. I feel like you could replace that with a Hi-Fi Rush, because those games do a lot of things better than Mario does. Now, I think Mario is very good for the game that it's trying to be, but like for all around Game of the Year, I think if they had to show the votes of like the games that had the most votes versus the least votes for Game of the Year, I think it's going to have the least amount of votes between
Super Mario
everything
Wonder.
here. Yeah, I think it'll have the least amount of votes between them all. I think the game's good, but it's not even the best Nintendo game in the category. And that's Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Are those both? Those are both Nintendo exclusives, right?
Nintendo exclusives, yeah. So Nintendo was really on their stuff today. They really had time. They were both Nintendo games.
So like, play a game, right? Let's play a game here. So it's just gonna be 1v1s. Game of the Year, is it Tears of the Kingdom or Super Mario Bros?
It's Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay, is it Super Mario Bros or Alan Wake?
Probably Alan Wake.
Okay, is it Super Mario Bros or Baldur's Gate 3?
Baldur's Gate 3. That's easy.
I'm not even gonna ask about Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
And then what's the one that it has the best chance of beating? Is a remake?
No, it's not. The remake's not going to win at all. If the remake wins, I'm going to be really upset. I
don't think they would.
I think they have to do everything to not let the remake win. Tim said Zelda should get some extra votes for the handicap of running on the Switch. That is very true. That takes a lot of power to run on the Switch.
Yeah, I think like you said, I think the best RPG is a tighter race than this is going to be. And yeah. I know they have to like, they can't be similar games. They kind of have to stretch and reach and try to pull stuff from different genres. So if you're going to swap a game out, it'd be Super Mario Bros. And what would it be with?
If I had to swap out a game, it'd be Super Mario Bros. And I'd be switching with Final Fantasy 16. And if I had to swap two games, I'd be swapping Mario Bros. And then the Resident Evil remake, just because it's a remake. And then I'll throw in Sea of Stars and Resident Evil 4. I think all around going off this list, I'm gonna honestly be. I think it's a clear winner. I think it's Baldur's Gate, and it's not even just the whole fact that the game was very good. I also think that the game was very good, and it's setting a standard for gaming that a lot of people forgot about, or maybe we haven't touched on. But when this game came out, it was so good that like developers came out.
Was great.
Developers came out and they were like, yo, don't expect every game to be like this because it's physically impossible. And they were saying that.
People were complaining.
Like, yeah, the people were
how
complaining.
Good it was.
Yeah, because they were like, they're ruining the industry by not adding microtransactions and not adding like a pay to win or some sort of like, it was so good that developers were mad. And I think that's honestly crazy behavior. But
I've never seen that before.
No, this was
I've
like
never seen that before.
in 2023, paying $60 for a game in depth like that with no problems, no bugs. You could do anything you want, no like transactions whatsoever.
And the replayability. You can do the story 100 different ways
and get 100 different endings.
Right.
When you get Starfield, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say like you get to do different stuff, but at the same time, the story's kind of planned out for you. The main story is the main story. You can't really like screw it up.
No,
I guess if that makes sense. But like that's the thing too, is like I feel like Tears of the Kingdom is kind of getting slept on here because Tears of the Kingdom is a really good game as well. I just it's not competing with Baldur's Gate. If Baldur's Gate wasn't a game, I'd say it's Tears of the Kingdom.
Now, I could see Tears of the Kingdom still winning. I think it has a lot more mass appeal than Baldur's Gate, and a lot of people don't like turn-based strategy games.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hate on the D&D community, and it just pulls straight from that. But if you're thinking about, for me, just looking at what you can do in a game, and like when I'm thinking game of the year, man, I'm thinking of a game that I'm playing and I'm put into shock of what's going on. Like I want to be playing the game with my mouth wide open. I'm just like, I can't even believe they made this, type of thing. And there's some Baldur's Gate moments where you're watching it and you're like, I can't even believe this is happening. I'm sure Alan Wake is the same. Right. I'm sure Spider-Man, dude, like I told you, every night when I get on my phone, when I shouldn't be and I should be sleeping, I get caught in those Spider-Man 2 TikToks where they're just swinging around the city. And I'm like, this is beautiful. But I'm like sitting there going, no words, nothing. I'm just watching this is amazing.
The only reason Spider-Man won't is because it had too many bugs to compete.
Yeah.
And that's not, I know they're spiders. They're technically bugs, but that's not the bugs I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
right.
quality bugs.
I would only remove one game. If I had to remove one, it'd be the remake, just because I don't think remake should be up for discussion. And based on all the other games that Sea of Stars, a clear in front runner for me to put in there. But if you're going to put something else in there, more of like a AAA title, you're looking at like Final Fantasy 16, Armored Core, but the story there probably doesn't match Final Fantasy as well. I mean, a B tier would be like Hogwarts or Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, I before I get into this question by Tim, I do want to say that is one game that we did forget was Hogwarts, and Hogwarts wasn't up.
And Jedi Survivor.
Hogwarts wasn't up for any awards.
Yeah, and I don't know if you like got caught into that, all the discussion there. People
it's
were
probably
saying,
it's probably about something to do with why people shouldn't buy the game, right? I'm guessing.
Why they shouldn't have bought it, but also like why it wasn't as good as we all thought. But when that game came out, everyone was in a chokehold for a month straight. Everyone was making content about Hogwarts, like every single all of it.
There wasn't a game that was competing with it around that time. It was Hogwarts or nothing. That game, like, if we want to talk about a great release window, that game had like one of the perfect release windows because nothing around it. There was no games around it that
They
was
killed
like
it. They killed it. They were extremely successful, and people were like, "No, it was mid." And you're like, "What are you talking about?"
Nah, I think Hogwarts was like a very good game, but like maybe it was just got released like maybe at a terrible time due to like, okay, if you look at stuff that's like closer down the end of the road, like, you know what I'm saying, like closer to November when these awards are kind of a thing. Like I think that's why like people release their games out October, November, so it's like irrelevant in your head.
Yeah,
Hogwarts was like a while ago, and you kind of just forgot about it. The game's almost a year old, and that's kind of crazy to think about.
But and they also had to, that is kind of crazy to think about actually. But and then they, is it the game of the year? No, I don't think that it is. For it to receive 0 nominations, I mean, dude, walking around the environment around there was crazy. The room of requirement was so impressive. Impressive.
Everybody was so hyped. They were like, "This is what all I wanted to do as a kid. I just wanted to walk around Hogwarts."
Exactly.
And you were able to. You were able to explore Hogwarts and a bunch of different
entirety.
Angles. Yeah, everything. And then you were allowed to go to like the whole world of, it was a different game, and I think it was a very good game to not get any. So like honestly, I can't throw it in the game of the year. Like
I wouldn't either.
Yes, but I think that is a game that like we kind of forget about and we don't really talk about. But at that time, Hogwarts was really killing it. Hogwarts was really doing a good job.
I think a lot of people talk trash on that game, and I think it's also in their library. and I think they also played it and beat it. You know what I mean? Like,
I also want to highlight this last question before we go. Before I get into this, actually, what is your pick for game of the year then? I'm going Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3. I wanted to lock it in before like the Game Awards actually happen, so we
100%.
can go back into it.
I think it's the most. I mean, I've already said it. I think it's Baldur's Gate.
I want to go ahead and kick off this question by Tim before we head out. Tim says, if the remake wins, do we see a flood of remakes next year? And I would probably say yes. I think we've already seen a decent amount of remakes. Like we've had The Last of Us remastered. We also had the Dead Space remake. We had the Resident Evil remake. There's a lot of remakes, and I think they'll just keep on coming because I think the nostalgia kind of kicks into a huge factor of that. Oh, Super Mario RPG, technically that's a remake of an older game. It's not up for Game of the Year because it just passed that time
It wouldn't
period.
be close.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like I think we're getting a lot of remakes now, so I think it's like a recipe that some of these guys look at and be like, hey, if there's a way I could remake my game and kind of just touch up the graphics a little bit, make the story a little bit better, throw in an Easter egg or two and call it a day, I think that's just like an easy route. So I wouldn't be surprised.
We'll see, man. There is no clear. I mean, for me, there's a front runner, but it was such a good year. 2023 was a really strong year.
It was a very good year, and that, I think that like I said at the beginning, I think we all need to take a step back and just be like, hey, gaming as a whole was great, spectacular, and no matter what happens, gaming gets a W, and that's how Gaming Gone Weird treats it.
It was a good year.
That's how we treat it. Thank you guys for kicking it, man. This has been episode number 61, the Game Awards edition, man. Hope you guys had a good time. Like I said, I didn't know how this episode was going to do, but obviously Game Awards, that is gaming news, and I know we talked about it for the whole episode, but gaming news was kind of stale, so we thought we'd share the Game Awards stuff with you. We'll get back into our regular routine next week where we give you guys the news and what we've been playing. I still have to do my Spider-Man review. I know Tim's going to give me a hard one for that because it is coming. And also I do have Mario that I have to review. Pete, tell the people where to find you and what you're working on.
You can find me at Ghost Stories Gaming on YouTube and not Ghost Stories and Ghost Stories Gaming on all of the socials. I've been working on a Let's Play co-op Resident Evil 5. Currently working on that. Just released my kind of not a review, but we'll think of a good name for it. But just put a Sea of Stars breakdown on YouTube. That is live as well. Streaming 3 days a week, 2 or 3 days a week on YouTube. So keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah. Thank you guys for getting in. My name is Nicktana. If you guys like any game critiques or you want to see what I review and what I talk about, everything and all gaming, personally, for my opinion, you guys can check that out on YouTube at You Love Nicktana. If you guys want to keep up with me on Twitter, You Love Nicktana on Twitter, where I talk about my gripes and I also just post very good pictures. Other than that, be safe. Tell someone you love them. We'll catch you guys next week for Gaming Gone Weird number 62. Later.